Hi, so this is a very shortish video by way of an update on a few things that I've been up to. Specifically, that I have an essay in this book, Not That Bad, edited by Roxane Gay, writer of Bad Feminist, Hunger, and Difficult Women, among other books. I'm pretty pleased to be in a book edited by Roxane Gay because she's one of my favourite feminists. I really liked Bad Feminist when I first read it, and I've been reading Hunger and Difficult Women, and they're both really good as well. She wrote an essay on Scrabble, which is probably one of my favourite essays that have ever been written. It's not a purely feminist take on Scrabble, though there are feminist themes in it. I just think it's an incredibly well-written, familiar essay, which is a genre that some of you will know I really like, and I really like that essay. Not That Bad is slightly more serious. The subtitle of the book is Dispatches from Rape Culture, and all the essays in one way or another do deal with that. There is work in here from Gabrielle Union. There's an absolutely, pretty much everything I've read in this so far has been just amazingly, absolutely sucks you in the gut. Slaughterhouse Island by Jill Kreisman is fantastic. The Luckiest MILF in Brooklyn by Lynn Melnick I thought was amazing. There is just so much absolutely astonishing writing in here about something that doesn't get talked about enough, and I'm tremendously humbled to be in the company of the people who've produced that. My own story in it, my essay 63 Days, which I wrote in 2015 after coming to terms with my own life as a sexual assault survivor, is in there. Funnily enough, that's something that I have returned to recently because I've been writing about a lot of the same things in the parts of struggle play that I'm working on at the moment. There are some upcoming chapters that are going to get very kind of dark. And it's been interesting writing those, actually, and recording them. One of the things that I learned recording the audiobook for Not That Bad, for recording the audiobook recording of my essay for this, is reading something when there's not an audience in front of you can be almost more disarming than actually having an audience, because if there's an audience, you can play off them. And I think that's something that I have a tendency to do a little too much, which is something that I'm trying to avoid in the way that I present the sections of struggle play. So, for example, I'm not presenting them without an audience, but the idea of doing them as films on the YouTube channel is interesting because there is an audience, but there is no... but I can't see them. And similarly, I'm trying to present struggle play as a whole, as a piece itself, more as a work of spoken word theatre. So it's not like a stand-up set with poems in. It's a work where I'm talking, I'm delivering lines, I'm telling a story, a number of stories that interweave with each other, in fact, but there is not an assumption that I am having a chat with the audience. It is a play, so there's that. I presented the first 3 sections of struggle play, which I've been referring to as the first act, at Northern Stage is Curious, which was a fantastic showcase of work by queer creatives at Northern Stage, a sort of curtain raiser for the Curious Festival, which is actually running now in Newcastle. I'll put a link to that in the description for this. I'll put a link for Not That Bad in the description as well, so you can go and buy copies of it, which you definitely should because it's brilliant, even though I'm in it. The reason why it's taken me a long time to get around to doing one of these rather than just the poetry films and things like that is that I have moved. You might see that the stuff around me is slightly different than the background to the previous blogs. That's because I'm now actually living in my own place in Newcastle, and it's taken a while to sort a number of things out. You know, that moving is one of those things where you think you're finished doing it and then you realize you still have to do something else, and sometimes it can be just really tiny, stupid little things. Like I just recently I sorted my council tax out yesterday, which I should have done ages ago, but there you go. And yeah, so Not That Bad actually came out at the start of May, and I actually got my contributor's copy a little bit before it first came out. And yeah, so that's, you know, I moved mid-May and I've only just got around to telling you about it now, but you know, honestly, it's just an essential book. You should read this, whether you're whatever gender you might be, whether you're a sexual assault survivor or not. This is a book that you should be reading because this is something that we should be talking about. This is a question we should be having a conversation about, and one of the themes that's been coming out in a lot of the stuff I'm writing at the minute for Struggle Play is it's a conversation we could be having in a much more sophisticated way if we didn't keep getting bogged down in the same discussions about it and in the same kind of lazy assumptions about where you locate violence, and how you gender violence, and how gender and sexuality interact with violence. It's more complicated than we think, and one of the things that is really, really fantastic about it, Not That Bad, is that it doesn't flinch from looking at that. And so it's great, and you should buy it. And this is the, by now, traditional inept sign-off section of the piece, so there probably will be more just plain old vlog type things. I wanted to actually, is my microphone, I'm trying to get the microphone into the scene, but yeah, I can do that there, but it's not coming up normally. I don't know, I think when I'm doing vlogs I should have the microphone visible just so that it looks slightly more professional. I don't know, but on that slightly less than professional note, thank you for your time, and keep watching because the next installment of Struggle Play will drop soon. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.